supply demand curves. Market equilibrium.
Just a quick lame question. Let's say if I make my cheat sheet on an iPad and get it printed out, does that work for the exam?
I have no idea. I think we have to check with the TA.
No, they've strictly
Okay.
mentioned.
No, they have said no for that. You have to have it handwritten,
Okay, thanks.
right? While explaining surge pricing for Uber, we'll try to cover the supply demand curves, market equilibrium, shift in the demand curves, and the complementary or substitute goods. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So at point one, let's assume that the supply curve and the demand curve. Let's assume that this is the equilibrium point already, right? Where the equilibrium quantity is Q and the equilibrium price is P, right? And what can anybody tell me what is surge pricing in Uber?
So if there is a huge demand, or if there are like um, maybe weather conditions have changed, wherein the demand has increased due to these changes, they increase the price to meet the requirement.
So in if the demand changes due to other factors, for example, it's a rainy season. For example, it's during the office hours, right? So will that be a shift in the supply curve or a shift in the demand curve?
Supply curve,
That
I
will be
guess.
a no. That will be a shift in the demand curve,
Okay.
right? Because there will be more demand for the rides, right? Because during 8 to 9, there will be more demand for the rides. Okay. So in that case, the demand curve ये right में shift हो जाता है, right? D1 हो जाता है. So at this point, price तो पहले वाला है, price is P. So if you look here at the existing price, there's a difference of this particular quantity, right? So this is the difference in the number of rides जो हम लोग cater नहीं कर पा रहे, right? Because supply उतना ही है, right? But the demand has increased. So what Uber does, Uber introduces this surge pricing. So Uber uses algorithm in which they increase this price to this particular point, which is P1, right? So at this particular point, the quantity would be Q dash. So this is a new equilibrium price in which we are able to satisfy quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. Is it clear or should I explain it more?
Rahul, just to confirm, when will be there a shift? Will be there a shift in the supply curve?
Okay, supply curve. Okay, so basically there can be shift in the supply curve in this sense also, but we are keeping it constant because that would make things more complicated, right?
Okay, but in a
There
real
can be
world
shift.
scenario,
Yeah, I'll tell you. There would be shift in the supply curve. For example, if the in a long term, if the cost of the raw materials are less. In this case, if in Uber, if government is giving more incentives for cab drivers, right? They are getting some reimbursement. So there would be a shift in the supply curve because these are the factors which are not the price. So shift in demand or supply curve are the happens when factors other than the price comes into play. Okay.
got it. That means it will affect both the supply and the demand curve. But here we are
Technically,
making an assumption.
yeah, here we are assuming that only the demand curve is shift to the right, and therefore the price we use surge pricing to increase the price, so as we can match the new demand with the new supply.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
And also to like achieve market equilibrium, right?
But the market equilibrium is changing. So market equilibrium is when quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. So in the previous demand curve, the quantity demanded was P, the quantity demanded was Q, and the price was P. Right. But when the demand changes at this particular price, the quantity supplied remains at Q, but the quantity demand is at Q1. तो क्या होता है बेसिकली, तो बहुत राइडर्स को राइड मिलता ही नहीं है. कि सोचो कि देयर आर टोटली 100 राइड्स जिसका डिमांड है, बट देन ड्राइवर्स बस 80 है. सो देयर इज दिस 20 राइड्स व्हिच रिमेन अनफुलफिल्ड. राइट. तो इसको टू अवॉइड दिस दे इंक्रीज द प्राइस. तो प्राइस इंक्रीज करता है तो मेनी पीपल जो सोच रहे हैं कि चलो मुझे राइड लेना नहीं है, दोस ड्राइवर्स विल बी विलिंग टू गो फॉर अ राइड. ठीक है. तो ये 80, ये 100, तो बीच में जो डिफरेंस है 20, ये राइट इनको मिला नहीं है. तो जब प्राइस बढ़ता है तो 80 90 हो जाता है और 100 90 हो जाता है. आई एक्सप्लेन ये 90 क्यों होता है. क्योंकि 80 90 हो जाता है बिकॉज जो सप्लायर सोच रहा है कि चलो यार 80 जो ड्राइवर्स जो विलिंग नहीं था कि गाड़ी चलाने के लिए, दे वुड बी लाइक चलो ज्यादा पैसा मिल रहा है, आई विल ड्राइव. ठीक है. तो 80 90 हो गया. और 100 से 90 इसलिए आ रहा है कि जो कस्टमर सोचा है कि चलो उबर ले लेता है, दे थिंक दैट अच्छा प्राइस अभी बहुत ज्यादा है, लेट्स वेट फॉर सम टाइम, बाद में जब बारिश रुक जाएगी उसके बाद मैं जाऊंगा. ओके. Like, is it more confusing or should I break it down more, basically? Okay. Any doubts on this or should I go forward?
It's clear, bro. You can go ahead.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we have covered the supply and demand curve. Supply curve is upward sloping, demand curve is downward sloping because supply increases when the price increases, supply increases. When the price is reduced, demand increases. Right. Market equilibrium is the point where quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied, and that determines the price. Shift in demand curve is the leftward or rightward shift of the demand curve due to any factor other than the price. It can be income of the consumer, it can be the price of the substitute goods or complementary goods, etc. Okay. Okay. Now coming to complementary or substitute goods. Complementary goods are those goods, example petrol and car. So if the price of one good increases, the quantity of other good decreases. So there is I would say it's a positive relationship. Not a positive relationship between the price and the quantity, a negative relationship, but a positive relationship between the two product. So अगर price का petrol का price बढ़ता है तो it can happen that the car का quantity demand कम होता है because people shift from petrol cars to diesel cars or EV vehicles, right? Similarly, substitute goods are goods like
Rahul, how is it positively related if they are inversely proportional?
Okay, I'll tell you. I am saying that the goods are positively related. Petrol and car are positively related. Price and quantity are inversely proportional, right? It means if petrol का price बढ़ता है तो लोग क्या करेंगे, चलो अभी
So if petrol's price increases or decreases, there is an influence in car, like in the usage of cars. Is that it?
Right. There is a there's an inverse influence on the usage of car. Because if, when I say car, let's say petrol cars. Okay. Because if petrol price increases, people would shift from petrol cars to EV vehicles or to diesel cars.
Okay.
So that is the inversely proportional thing that I was saying.
Yeah, and it's called positive relation.
This is a this okay. So positive relation, I said that these two goods are positively related, but the price and quantity are inversely proportional, which means negatively related.
Got it.
Okay, I'll explain to you through substitute goods where the okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, thank you.
So substitute goods can be OTT and theater, right? So let's assume that the price of movies in theaters has gone up. So people would say that okay, let's wait for some time. When the movie will come to OTT, let's watch in OTT. So if the price goes up, the quantity demanded in OTT, will it go up or will it go down?
When the price in a theater goes up,
Yeah.
Again, we are speaking
It will go up.
it will go up, right? So the relation between price and quantity, is it positive or is it negative?
Depends on the context.
Yeah, on this context, right?
Here
The
is
quantity
positive since
is
if
positive, yeah.
yeah.
So it is directly proportional. And similarly, if the price goes down, people might be okay. Let's watch in the theater because the prices are low. Let's not subscribe to the OTT for that particular month. Again, there are so many other factors which are there, and pricing decisions. Sorry, and purchase decisions are not only the factor of price, but we keep other things constant so as to understand this particular concept, right? So in substitute goods, the price and the quantity are directly proportional. In complementary goods are like normal goods where the where the price and the quantity are inversely proportional. So if I have to map the price of the complementary good and the quantity, it would be a downward sloping demand curve. However, if I have to map the price of the substitute and the quantity of the product, it would be a upward sloping curve. Clear?
can you scroll down to the graph again? Yeah.
Mhm.
This is for substitute.
This is for substitute. Yeah, this is for substitute.
Why can you explain this again, the substitute parts of?
Sure. Okay. Which part you want me to explain? The graph or the basic idea of what is complementary good, what is substitute good? Hello?
Why only the graph? The graph.
Okay, sure. So, okay. So, when it is substitute good, so yes, you want to know why the demand curve is upward sloping, right?
Right.
So, like I said, so the quantity is of OTT, right? But the price is of theater,
Okay.
right? तो जैसे थिएटर का प्राइस मतलब जो मूवीज जो थिएटर में लगती है उसका प्राइस जैसे बढ़ता है, we assume that the quantity of OTT or the subscribers of OTT increases.
Okay.
तो इसीलिए मतलब पहले इतना था तो यहाँ पे है, जैसे बढ़ रहा है तो ये क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड भी बढ़ रहा है, राइट?
Got it. Thanks.
But- राइट और जब कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री गुड्स होता है दैट दोस एक्ट लाइक नॉर्मल गुड्स. तो जैसे प्राइस कम होता है तभी क्वांटिटी बढ़ता है, प्राइस जैसे बढ़ता है क्वांटिटी कम होता है, जैसे नॉर्मल गुड्स, हाउ द नॉर्मल गुड्स वर्क, राइट?
ठीक है. Got it. Thank you.
So I think this is it for the surge pricing Uber. Here we have covered the supply, what is demand, the basic market equilibrium, how we arrive at that, what is called the shift in demand, what are the complementary and supplementary goods. Uh, Next, we'll be going to the regular solar power, where we'll be discussing uh, the elasticity. So if you have any doubt with respect to this particular concept, you can ask me right now. Any doubts?
Rahul, do you remember session 2 where ma'am discussed this thesis by Uber done by
Right.
these economists that proves that surge pricing is the reason that
Hmm.
the app functions.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So can
Mhm.
you once go over that?
Sure. Sure. Right. So I'm coming back to this graph, right? If they don't do surge pricing, if they don't have a proper algorithm in which they can evaluate the demand or the supply, there would be a shortfall of, if you see this particular shortfall, right?
Hmm?
So right. So in which the quantity demanded is 100 rides and the quantity supplied is only 80 rides. So there are just 20 there are 20 rides which does not get fulfilled, right? So
Yeah.
that is, yeah. So again, your question was that this is the reason they survive. What will happen if they are losing on customers and they are not getting rides? They will switch to other apps,
Hmm.
right? So they use search pricing so as to equate the quantity supply to the quantity demand, and all the people who are willing to pay that price gets their ride. Clear?
Right. And it is I mean, very basely speaking, it is due to the fact that rooted in the fact that drivers don't want to drive in lower costs, like at lower costs when there's more demand, right? I mean, that's why that's why the price is high.
Okay, I'll tell you, the prices can be high. It can happen that at a particular time there are just 80 rides available, right? And for that particular price, the demand was also 80. But imagine that it starts raining at that time. So people who were planning to take a ride after 1 hour would want to reach home faster. So the demand increases from 80 to $100. Sorry, 80 to 100 rides.
Hmm.
Okay. So there is a mismatch of 20 rides. How can they, bridge that mismatch? By increasing the price and incentivizing more supply to, or more riders to actually take offer rides. Clear?
Yeah, thank you. And also one quick thing, how would we plot the supply curve against like of a substitute good? I mean,
Supply curve or substitute good.
yeah,
Supply curve of a
demand.
substitute good will always be upward sloping.
So it will be two parallel lines, demand and supply. They won't meet.
Of course they will. Okay, so basically I'll tell you. So this particular graph, we cannot use this. Okay, we cannot use this graph to find the equilibrium price, because this graph, these two graphs, the substitute goods and complementary goods graph, these are just to, just to understand how the demand curve behaves with respect to price of the complementary or substitute good.
Right.
So this has nothing to do with, uh, you know, the finding the equilibrium price, because that can be done only when it's related to the price of that particular good. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
So any other doubt, or shall I go forward with the next topic?
So there are no equations or something to calculate here.
I think there will be equations which will come in the elasticity. Here there is no particular equation. The only equation that will be there is the QS is equal to QD, right? And this is equal to equilibrium price, and this quantity is equal to equilibrium quantity, right? So there is no
So there is this
formula as such.
these graphs
Mhm.
till now
Hmm.
as for inference. Mane,
Mhm.
if a question comes, this graph will be provided, and we will have to write a inference out of it.
It's okay. So if the caselet comes which has some search pricing in that, we can explain how uh, companies use search pricing to bring an equilibrium in the quantity or the price.
Mhm.
ठीक है तो we can use the graphs to explain that. ग्राफ तो दिया नहीं रहेगा. ग्राफ
Okay,
तो दिया रहेगा
we'll have to make the graph on our own with the.
Yeah, it depends if you are answering a question and if you think that preparing a graph would help you frame the answer better, then yeah, it's always good to prepare a graph.
Okay, so अभी तक सिर्फ inference है and there is no equation as such.
There is no equation in the sense formula. Yeah, there is this particular equation, but there is no formula which is needed in this particular topic. We'll be having formulas in the next topic, which is elasticity.
हाँ please ठीक है, let's go.
Right?
अब मेरे ख्याल से राहुल जो अनिर्बन भाई कह रहा है ना, दैट इज लाइक इस पे भाई हम क्वेश्चंस कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Okay. So questions, I think, if it's अगर MCQ आ रहा है, then we should be pretty aware of what complementary substitute goods are, जो मैंने बताया. If okay, just a minute. Yeah. अगर caselet आ रहा है, so probably I think the questions would be around how to. मुझे नहीं लगता कि यहाँ पे कुछ quantity वाला questions आएगा कि you have to find out what's the quantity demand or quantity supply. But I think it would be more of an inference कि search pricing काम कैसे करता है and how can you use economics to explain search pricing, right? Because we need the supply and demand curve to explain why search pricing works, right? So if the question comes like that, we have to think on these lines to answer them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So going to regular solar power. Okay, so I just want to confirm if somebody has already gone through the case or read the case.
Yeah, I think most of us would have because we had that assignment, so everybody would have a high level clarity on it.
Okay. Through this, we can explain the price elasticity, the formula, and we can use to calculate the point elasticity. What are the what are the factors which affect price elasticity? What is gross price elasticity? Okay. Okay. So basically, this case study. So there was this particular solar company, but the solar company is facing competition from a large solar manufacturer. So their installation speed is fast, and they are covering the market. So what CEO tells is that they suggest that the prices should be cut by 10%. So CEO suggests that the prices are cut by 10%, and that would help them to increase the demand and thereby increase their revenue. Okay. Let me open the case. So yeah, so are you guys able to see the case study?
Yeah.
So we'll be explaining this particular units, this particular data to explain how a price elasticity work.
I didn't understand that.
Okay. So these are the units. So this can be the quantity, and this is the price. Okay. So let's plot this quantity and the sorry. Let's plot the quantity here and let's plot the price here. Okay. So we'll use this example to calculate the elasticity. I'll write down the formula of elasticity. So formula of elasticity is E is equal to change in quantity change in quantity by quantity divided by